guys, I am excited for you to learn this thrash metal riff with fast tremolo picking. This is going to take your metal rhythm playing to that next level. Now, on that note, if you're a beginner, because this is more of an intermediate to advanced rock metal guitar lesson here, if you're a beginner, I've got another video up here you might want to check out. I also have a beginner's metal guitar course. There's a link in the description for that. Now, we're going to jump right into this lesson, but I want to tell my Patreon supporters, you guys have the tabs and the downloadable backing tracks. Also, hang around till the end of the video for our normal guitar chat. So let's talk about this riff here. I want to go over some of the details of this. So first of all, yes, we are tremolo picking, which is basically just fast alternate picking, and oftentimes that's done just on that same string there, okay? So what we're doing, we start out, we're in the key of B minor, by the way, for those of you who like to know the key, which I encourage you to know the key that we're in, because that's just going to help you as you expand on this riff, which that's what I want you to do. Learn this, but don't just learn it. Start adding your own flavor to it. That's really when you start becoming a much better, not only guitar player, but also songwriter as well. Take what I'm sharing with you, expand on it. I really encourage you to do that, and I can't stress that enough. Anyway, so we're in the key of B minor, and as most of you guys already know, we're in standard tuning. So the cool thing is, those first three parts of that riff, they're basically the same methods and techniques. We're doing the fast alternate, tremolo picking there on the one string the same amount of times each time, okay? So those first three sections, same methods, same techniques, but we're just going to be playing those techniques with different notes. That's it. So that makes it a little bit easier. Now, if you want to back up to the very beginning here, let's just talk about that first riff real quick. What I like to do, if you're having trouble with that, is I like for you to just play the notes themselves first, and I'll share why. So here's that first part without the tremolo picking, just playing the notes. Okay, 7th fret of the first string, then we go to the next string, 10, 9, then we do that really cool hammer-on pull-off, 7, 9, 7, 0. So if you're having trouble with the alternate picking and kind of putting everything together, just play the single notes without the alternate picking. The reason is, I said I'd share the reason, is because that lodges those notes in your head. It's like, okay, now I know where my fingers are supposed to go. When you have that level of confidence, I know exactly where to go, then you can start throwing in the fancy techniques, which in this case is our fast alternate picking here, right? So again, and then just repeat that for the other parts of this riff here. That's all you have to do, right? That last little part of the riff there, pretty cool little piece to end on there, right? I didn't want to play the same thing that we've been playing. I wanted to end with something different, which again, this is going back to some metal songwriting techniques for you to pick up on here. But what I'm doing is I'm playing that really cool sounding G power chord, right? I know there's a fancy word for it. You guys let me know in the comments. But instead of playing, we're starting out, instead of 3-5, we're doing 3-4. Really killer sound there. And then I do this little 1-2-3, what I like to call a gallop. 1-2-3. So I play the chord, then 1-2-3 palm muted. Then I go to the regular G power chord. Now time for the second part. Let's hear this riff in the full mix, and I want you to hone in on that second guitar, that harmonizing guitar. It's a little bit higher pitched than the other one. So here it is. Secret to these harmony parts, and this is just gonna blow your mind if you haven't done this before, and I really encourage you to start doing this with some of your single note metal rhythms that you're writing, because this is when things can get really cool and just change the dynamics of the song that you're writing. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing the third note, and basically that's 2 steps from where we're starting at. For example, we're starting here, that first riff, 1st string, 7th fret. So 2 steps from that, okay, in the key of B minor. This is why it's important to know the key that you're playing in. 2 steps from that is going to be here. Okay, and that's essentially your third note. This is your first note. 2, 3. So that's just 2 steps, not 2 notes, not 2 frets, but 2 steps from that. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If I were to say, well, it's 2 notes from that first note, well, that would be, or 2 frets rather, that would be this. Well, that wouldn't be right. Okay, 2 steps. Again, that's why it's so important to know the key you're playing in. I actually have another video on the Metal Mastermind channel. You guys know that's where I host my guitar courses on. But I'll put that up here if you guys want to check that out. It's an easy way to understand the circle of fifths, and that will kind of help you understand what we just went over. That's all I'm doing. So this riff right here, playing the harmony part, as we just described, would be here. That's it, and you just carry that forward throughout the rest of the riff that we're playing until we get to that last part. But that's it. That's a simple way to play that harmony part. Now, one note I want to add, no pun intended. The pun's always intended, you guys know that. But you don't necessarily have to use that third note, okay? You don't necessarily have to count up 2 steps from that first note. If you want to play another note within that progression that fits within that progression and try to harmonize with a different note, go a little bit higher, just play around with that, okay? You can just play around with the different notes to see what sounds better to you, okay, as you're harmonizing with that first original guitar track. Now, I want to give you a quick recording tip here when it comes to playing that harmonizing guitar track, and this is just what I like to do. I know I've talked about in the past videos, but I always record 2 rhythm guitar tracks, okay? And I hard pan each one. So in other words, I'll record that first metal rhythm track where you're using a real amp, which is what I use. I use my EVH amp, recording it with that good old Shure SM57 mic going directly into my interface here. By the way, I'm using PreSonus Studio One. By the way, guys, I have a link going to all of the gear I use both in the studio and for playing live. So that's in the description as well, the gear Jason uses. So check that out. I keep that page updated. But I'll record that first rhythm track and then I will hard pan that left, and then I'll open up a second track for my second guitar. I'll go ahead and pan that all the way to the right and I'll record that track, and that's the one I usually do the harmonizing with, okay? So that just really blends together and it really just gives you a really awesome mix. Now the next thing I want you to do, guys, is I want you to expand on this riff. Don't just learn what I'm showing you. I want you to learn it, of course, right? But go beyond that. This is when you start to become a metal songwriter. You start writing your own riffs, as most most of you already do. But again, I encourage you and I challenge you to expand on this riff. You can come up with some really cool stuff with this, okay? Maybe go into something with power chords or more of a chunky rhythm, because you want that contrast sometimes in the metal rhythms. You don't want it all to be the fast tremolo picking. Go into something else and see what you can come up with. So I just wanted to plant that seed. But guys, I hope this video helps you. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. Again, I love reading your comments there. Now, a quick shameless plug: if you do not have my Metal Riff Master guitar course, there's a link to that in the description as well. Hang out in the description of this video. There's some really cool stuff in there for you. So hang out there. That helps support me. Of course, I appreciate that. By the way, give this video a thumbs up, please, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Guys, I will see you on the next video. Until then, you know what to do. Keep it metal.